Going to your point about how you're seen as the bad guy if you kind of speak up or exercise your right or give your story, I do wonder if that's more of a New Zealand thing. People often say we have tall poppy syndrome. And so in general, people that try to elevate themselves or stand up for their rights often are oppressed by the more mainstream idea or mainstream narrative. I do wonder if it's a small country thing. New Zealand is, 4 million, which is 5 million, which is literally the size of a city in America. Crazy to think about, right? So tiny. And so when you know everybody or know, a lot of people when you live in these small towns, so when you know everybody or know, a lot of people when you live in these small towns, in circumstances like that, often people start to think in very similar ways and they don't want to think outside of the social norm because it's so well enforced within this small little town or city of only a couple 100,000 people like where we live.
Yeah. And I think one of the other big things, at least for me and my thoughts on it, is that a lot of people wish they would stand up for their rights. A lot of people wish that they would be able to do something like that. But when they see someone else doing it, they're doing what this person wishes they could do and what they should do. So instead of doing it themselves, they want to downtrod everyone else. So they feel better about not doing anything themselves. And that is a very common thing as well, that bringing everyone down to be the common denominator as opposed to raising everyone up to the appropriate level. And that is something else that I think is very, very harmful. It's a very harmful mindset.
It's super harmful. And it happens all the time, people cutting each other down. Or even when you start to be a bit more successful or try to do something different or creative, people, in a sense, don't like that.
Yeah.
Because if you do something they know they can't do, it intimidates them.
And it highlights their insecurities and their own flaws. Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people don't want to be friends with somebody that is always pushing their boundaries and becoming better, because what does that say about you? You look to them, and if, in the conversation you say, hey, I've done X, Y, Z, and then they think about their life, it's sort of a constant reminder. A constant reminder of where they are compared to you, and often that might be a projective narrative. It's not even substantial or real. And if they realize, hey, I could actually use this person's skills to better myself, that could be cool too. But that is a bit more difficult road to go down. And so people usually take the easier road of moving away from that person or distancing themselves
or trying to cut them down.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And exactly like you said, that's the tall poppy syndrome in a nutshell. That a lot of people will see people getting up and up and up and doing better and better. And instead of raising themselves up, they want to bring everyone else down. So they feel better where they are down here as opposed to trying to get up there. And, I mean, it's harmful to them, it's harmful to everyone else, and it really is not conducive to a growth society. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're friends with someone, if you really love them, don't you want the best for them? But
absolutely. You'd hope so, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
But I think we can all be mindful of it too. Because everybody exhibits a bit of jealousy. And I thought I was the most open person. But then one of my friends, was doing all this business stuff. And for a moment, I actually felt like, oh man, he's doing really well. And in a sense, it made me feel a little insecure. But I caught myself and I thought, hey, I need to shift how I'm thinking and move out of that judgment or negative feeling.
Well, I think honestly,
for
me, when you get those feelings of insecurity and those sort of things, especially when it's been brought up because of someone else's success, to me that's an amazing thing, because then you get to see, I wish I was able to do that. I wish I was there. I wish I was doing the same thing. That's your brain telling you that's what you want to do. And then all you need to do is you listen to it and go, hey, you know what? Because I can do that, why don't I do that?
Exactly.
And you go out and do it.
Exactly. Transform that insecurity into motivation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
insecurity is the low-level paradigm, and you can choose whether to take that down a negative route or a positive route. But if you can transform that insecurity into positivity and then inspiration, that is taking you in the direction you probably want to take, and it's a more ideal direction.
Of course. Of course.